Marcus Chen wiped the sweat from his brow as he surveyed the wreckage of the alien craft that had crash-landed in the Nevada desert 3 days ago. The ship's hull gleamed with an otherworldly iridescence, its smooth curves defying human understanding of aerodynamics. But it was the pilot inside that truly challenged everything humanity thought they knew about life in the universe. She was tall, nearly 7 feet, with skin that shimmered like liquid mercury under the harsh desert sun. Her limbs were elongated and graceful, ending in hands that possessed an extra joint in each finger. Most striking were her eyes, large, opalescent orbs that seemed to contain entire galaxies within their depths. When she had first emerged from the wreckage, barely conscious and bleeding a luminescent blue fluid, Marcus had been the first human she'd encountered. Now, as the lead engineer assigned to first contact protocols, Marcus found himself in the makeshift medical bay they'd established in the nearby military base. The alien woman, who had introduced herself through a complex series of harmonic tones that roughly translated to Lyralai, lay on the examination table, her breathing shallow but steady. "The damage to her exoskeleton is extensive," Dr. Sarah Martinez explained, pointing to the cracked and dented chest plate that seemed to be both armor and life support system. "We can't remove it without potentially killing her. But if we don't repair it soon, the internal systems will fail." Marcus nodded, studying the intricate patterns of circuitry that ran through the metallic plating. It wasn't just technology, it was art. Every line, every connection seemed to serve both functional and aesthetic purposes. Human engineering was brutal efficiency. This was poetry made manifest. "I think I understand the basic principles," Marcus said, running his fingers along the damaged sections. "The microconduits here channel some kind of energy, probably bioelectric, while these nodes seem to regulate pressure and temperature." Lyralay's eyes fluttered open as Marcus began working. Her species had developed universal translation, implants, and her voice, when she spoke, carried the weight of stellar winds and cosmic storms. "Your species is fascinating," she said, watching Marcus work with steady hands. "We have observed many civilizations, but none quite like humanity." "Oh?" Marcus asked, carefully realigning a damaged power coupling. "What makes us so special?" "Most species we encounter develop technology through collective consciousness or shared genetic memory. They build upon the wisdom of their ancestors through biological inheritance." Lyralai winced slightly as Marcus touched a particularly sensitive area. "But humans, you start from nothing. Each generation must learn everything anew, yet somehow you advance faster than any other species we've encountered." Marcus paused in his work. "That doesn't sound very efficient." "Efficient? No, but powerful beyond measure." Lyralay's opalescent eyes fixed on him. "Do you know why I crashed here? Equipment failure? I was fleeing." Her voice dropped to barely above a whisper. "My people, the ethereal collective, we have ruled this quadrant of the galaxy for 10,000 of your years. We believed ourselves the apex of evolution, the perfect fusion of biology and technology." Marcus continued, his repairs sensing there was more to the story. "Then we detected your radio signals. Crude, simple transmissions from a small blue world. We sent observers, expecting to find another primitive species to catalog and perhaps uplift when they proved worthy." Lyralay's laugh was like crystal, chimes in a cosmic wind. "Instead, we found humans." "What did you find that was so special about us?" "Everything we are, you became in mere millennia without any of our advantages. We upload consciousness. You create art that captures souls. We share collective memory. You develop individual creativity that blazes like newborn stars. We perfect our forms through technology. You improve yourselves through sheer, stubborn will." Marcus felt the final connection click into place. The chest plate hummed to life, its damaged sections regenerating with organic-looking tendrils of metal. Careful, Lyreley whispered as his fingers brushed against a cluster of neural interfaces near her heart. That part's sensitive. It's where we store our most precious memories. Marcus pulled his hand back, but not before he felt something, a brief electric tingle that seemed to convey profound gratitude and something deeper, respect. My people wanted to study you, to understand how you achieved so much so quickly, Lyreley continued. But the ruling council, they saw you as a threat. They planned to end your species before you could develop further. Marcus's blood ran cold. And you? I stole a ship and fled to warn you. I chose exile over genocide. Lyreley sat up slowly, her repairs complete. Because I realized something my people could not. What's that? We are not the apex of evolution. You are. Not because you are perfect, but because you are perfectly imperfect. Your flaws drive you to greatness. Your mortality makes you treasure each moment. Your inability to share consciousness makes every connection precious. Lyreley stood, towering over Marcus, but somehow not intimidating. Humanity doesn't need to be uplifted, or guided, or perfected. You need to be protected, cherished, and given the chance to become what we could never be. Which is free. She placed one long-fingered hand on his shoulder. My ship's repair protocols are complete. I must leave soon, but I've transmitted the location of their staging area to your military communications. You have perhaps 6 months before they arrive. Marcus felt the weight of species survival settling on his shoulders. Will that be enough? Time? Lyreley's smile was radiant. For humanity? I believe you could achieve miracles in 6 days if properly motivated. She moved toward the exit, then paused. Thank you, Marcus Chen, for treating me not as a specimen or a threat, but as simply another being in need of help. That's what humans do, Marcus replied. Yes, Lyreley said, stepping into the desert night where her repaired ship waited. That's exactly what makes you extraordinary. As her ship lifted silently into the star-filled sky, Marcus stood watching until it became just another point of light among countless others. But now he knew that among those lights, humanity had at least one friend, and sometimes that was enough to change everything.